All right, guys, what's going on? It's Nando. Thanks for stopping by. We've got the Surface Go 4 gigs of RAM model here to talk about, review, and recommend. Before I even get started about what I love about this thing, I'm going to let you know right off the bat that I actually returned, I'm going to return this thing. I should say that. I'm going to return this thing. But not because I dislike it, but because this device allowed me to think about a different product that I hope Microsoft could come out with in the future. I'll get more to that in a second. Now, this device right here, the 4 gigs of RAM model, comes with 64 gigabytes of internal storage. Of course, you can expand it. This internal storage isn't as fast as the 8 gigs of RAM model, but for the 4 gigs of RAM, what do you get? You get $399 Surface Pro tablet. You can throw in a Surface Pen, it's right here. And then you can throw in, which is about $100, but you can actually buy it for a good bit less. I actually spent 80 bucks on it, new. And then you can get the Surface Go type keyboard for $100. Or you can spend a little more and get the different Alcantara model for $129. All of this here will cost you $615 with tax at Best Buy. This is what you get. If that's all I focus on the rest of this video, then guys, I think we know that this is a big win for Microsoft. I have loved using this. I've enjoyed using this. I absolutely love the fact that this is so small, this is so well built, and that this thing right here incorporates and includes all the things that I'd want in a tablet, minus maybe the games. When I think Microsoft Windows 10, I don't think 100,000 games in the Play Store or App Store. I think about productivity, I think about some games, I think about consuming media. And this is the first time that I think Microsoft has absolutely nailed it in those departments, because there are games in the Windows Store. Edge browser works phenomenal. 4 gigs of RAM allows you to open up 10 tabs, easy, no issue. You can even download Chrome like I did, and it works well. You've got the pen to annotate, and it works smoothly, just as well on the Pro Edition. And then you got the keyboard here, which I think compared to all the others, the Apple keyboard in my opinion is garbage. The Samsung little keyboard case I think is garbage. The fact that you're able to do this and then close this bad boy up like that, and throw it in your bag is incredible. There's so much value to having this as a secondary device, a primary at-home device, a third device. I love this. I love this so much that I started thinking about what I want Microsoft to come out with next. And I'll tell you, if Microsoft could bring this form factor to the table with an i5 and or an i7, 8 gigs of RAM or 16 gigs of RAM, basically take the Surface Pro spec-wise and shrink it into this. I don't know if that's possible or not, but if they could, I would pay the premium because I absolutely love the form factor on this thing. In a previous video, I talked about the form factor on the Pixelbook, and the Pixelbook is bigger. The Pixelbook is a little heavier. The Pixelbook isn't as good of a tablet. I mean, I can sit here and compare it. I could get my iPad out too, but get this. I had in my backpack this setup, pen, type keyboard, Surface. I had my Pixelbook, and I had my iPad Pro. And I ended up using this almost exclusively. Not just for this review, because this is fun to use. This is cool to use. My dad is a guy who barely knows how to use technology, but he has an iPad Pro, he has an iPhone X, he has a MacBook Pro because I bought it for him. And the guy loves the simplicity of those things. But he's been asking me about this. He's been intrigued by the form factor. The fact that I can connect a keyboard and use it. There is such a massive market for people out there to buy this, whether it's the 4 gig of RAM or 8 gig of RAM. You'll be hard pressed to find an experience as nice and cool and unique as this, between hardware quality, software integration, and then the little features like the pen and the keyboard that just work well together. I have loved this thing. I highly recommend this thing. I think that anybody who's looking to do stuff like check your mail, browse the internet, watch some Netflix videos, those apps exist, and this is so much fun. And if Microsoft wants to put a much more powerhouse inside this form factor, I'd love it. I love that this comes with a USB Type-C. I love that this has expandable storage, and I love the hardware. This actually has a much more curvature to it. I use this in bed a lot more than I ever did the Surface Pro, which is 13 inches or 12 inches, what I can't remember. But those were much more boxed out corners and edges that actually dug into your hand. So guys, I just want this video to be the video that hopefully helps someone out there think, you know what? Do I need the 4 gigs or the 8 gigs? I think that if you're asking yourself that question, I think the 4 is gonna be plenty. I think you're gonna be super impressed by what 4 gigs of RAM can do for you on the Surface Go. And here, get this, if you don't like it or you don't think it's enough, then you're only gonna spend another $100 and some and you can go ahead and get yourself the 8 gigs of RAM that has the faster internal storage. So in my opinion, start with the 4, allow yourself to be open to the idea that, wow, 4 gigs of RAM, the days that we have 6 and 8 gigs of RAM on our phones, Windows 10 handles 4 gigs of RAM just fine. So give that a shot. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. And I'd love to start a conversation with you guys. I'm gonna leave it at that. Definitely buy this. This is one of my favorite products ever. Kudos Microsoft. Guys, it was Nando. I appreciate you guys stopping by one more time. Like always, stay geeky. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace. Salut. Adios.